Ah,
All right,
yeah. Well,
door's
did you
shut.
close your door? Did you close your door?
Close my door.
Yeah. Okay.
We're all alone. We have privacy.
Oh no.
Oh, yes. Good morning, everyone. It is May 31st,
Jesus Christ.
2024.
We're halfway already. Could you
This is
believe
the
that?
Raging to the vlogs. Yeah. Yeah.
Halfway.
I don't want to be halfway.
No, I don't want to be halfway either. But I don't want to go halfway either because then it'd be 2025.
No.
Oh my goodness. I mean,
And I don't want to go back. Been there, done
yeah,
that.
no, for real. I mean, it's just everything is zipping, man. But I guess that's what happens when you're really busy.
Or
That's
old.
the problem, right? Because it's like you're so busy that it's like you're not. It just,
just nonstop. Go, 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 go.
Right? No, for real. That's how it's been. Although my end of the month anxiety has been pretty calm right now, so I'm a little surprised. Usually by the end of the month I'm kind of freaking out, but I don't know, I'm feeling okay. Feeling okay.
Because you're saving it for the launch.
Probably. Yeah, probably.
Kicking into those reserves.
Yeah, probably.
You ready?
Absolutely not, but hit it.
Good morning, Daphne.
Good morning, Nita. Oh my God. And good morning to everybody out there. And who's joining us in the chat today? Who's joining us on this?
Someone's joining us. Oh, it's Rob. Good morning,
hello, Rob. Hello, Rob. Good morning. Good morning.
Wolf Daddy himself.
And yeah, Wolf Dad.
Daddy.
Wolf Dad.
Daddy.
Butt dial. Booty call. And yes, I see you, my beautiful eyeball people watching us from regions beyond. If you're joining us from Facebook, if you're joining us from LinkedIn, come on over to YouTube, join the sexy people in the chat, or at least keep Rob company. Oh, look at him getting all frisky. Please come keep
morning.
Come keep Rob in the chat before he really acts up. And yes, and while you're here, make sure you like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you get notified whenever any of our shows go live. So I guess we might as well just get this started.
Yeah, let's just get started.
Yeah, it's like, so hello everyone. My name is Daphne Lage, and I'm a cartoonist, illustrator, and comic book artist from New York. I've been self-publishing comics since 1992, and especially since today is May 31st, and we know what that means.
Well, then get your shit together. Get it all together and put it in a backpack. All your shit, so it's together. And if you gotta take it somewhere, you know? Take it to the shit store and sell it. Or put it in a shit museum. I don't care what you do. You just gotta get it together. Get your shit together.
Yes, the theme of the day, yes. And I am known for the furry fantasy adventure Tall Tales, which I am just finishing up, packing up the last couple actually of packages of the campaign. Thank you so much for everybody who pledged. Those boxes, those last boxes will be going out today. There's just a couple of more that we're just waiting for the Oswald campaign to come in so we can send it all together, because we have people who bought books from all the campaigns, so we figured if we're packing everything together, might as well ship those together. But that's besides the point. Thank you everybody for pledging to the Tall Tales campaign. And I am also known for my medieval fantasy drama Eagle Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, which returns to Kickstarter June 10th with volume 2 of Eagle Raven, which collects issues 5 through 8.
8.
Yeah, good grief. 5 through 8. Because you know what it is? Because I'm just 6 pages away from finishing issue 13 and my numbers are off. But no, volume 2 collects issues 5 through 8 of this 15 issue series. So so the link is in the show notes and in the chat, so you can head on over to the pre-launch page and click that link so you get notified when the campaign goes live on June 10th. And in the meantime, you can read both my comics online at egoworks.com, EGOWORKS, and Tall Tales, TAILS online.com. And you can check out all my videos on how I make my comics here on YouTube at my channel at Daphne Lage, Lage Art, which also simulcasts through the Indie Comics Network. And to tell you more about it, the wolf that sits in her pajamas and eats shredded cheese. Here's Nita.
Yeah. My name is Nita. I have a Google account and it runs Indie Comics Network on YouTube. IndieComicsNetwork.com is where you can find us. We have indie comics and stuff. And stuff.
And
I don't even know what the end stuff is.
I don't know. I mean, we have draw streams, we
Yeah,
have
we have draw
interview
streams,
shows,
interviews, panels,
yeah,
weird shit like whatever the fuck this is.
right. Well, that's true, yeah. But we try to keep it at least somewhat.
It's indie comic
related to indie comics.
Indie comic centered nonsense.
Right, exactly. And where can we find that?
IndieComicsNetwork.com.
It's .com.
.com.
Oh my goodness. So it's the end of the month. And usually my anxiety about getting everything done on my schedule is usually through the roof at this point. But I don't know, like this time around, I'm kind of feeling a little bit more even keeled about it. Is it keeled or keel? It's even keeled.
Whatever
right?
you want it to be. Good morning, Neil. Good morning, William.
Because I guess because I'm already technically a month behind on finishing my pencils. But the thing is though, is that I'm at a point where now the scenes are like so important that I don't want to rush through them just for the sake of saying that, oh, I finished the pencils, Right. And
mind you, you're working at your own pace and not on a deadline for someone else. Because if that were the case, that'd be a bitch move.
Well, that's
get
true.
your shit done. Get it in on time.
Oh no! You see, that's absolutely, because that's completely different. Like if I owed people artwork and there was like
completely different.
And I had to, that's different. It's like
I just don't want any of these clowns to be like, well, Daphne doesn't rush it. It's like
it's my own comic and I don't owe it to anybody except myself.
Right.
But not for nothing, I do have a schedule, like a Kickstarter schedule that I kind of have it in a rough it's a rough schedule. So it's like, technically I do have a deadline. Technically
but you're your own boss.
Right, exactly.
You only answer to yourself.
Right. But the thing is though, I really don't want to rush through anything just for the sake of saying that I have it finished.
Right.
Because this is something that future me already is going to hate to do because I'm putting in so much detail in these pages. So, but at the same time, by putting them in now, it should be easier to ink when I finally get to that. But these particular scenes, I'm just hitting the climax of the series in a literary sense. And it's like, and this is like really, really important. So I really want to make sure that these scenes come together very. Oh my goodness! See, I can't take her anywhere. Maybe the aquarium, but
so tell me, Daphne, how do your climaxes come together?
Right. Well, yes. So, yes, because we're near the end of the story. we're in the third act, so so yeah, I don't want to, I really don't want to rush anything. And I'm right now, I'm kind of debating whether I should add 4 more pages just to be able to do something a little bit more dramatic, but I'm not really sure if it's that necessary. If anything, the big finale is going to need those extra pages in issue 14. So probably I'll save that, I'll save that for over there. But yeah, because ironically, would you say it was ironic or just coincidentally? Probably coincidentally. Colleen Duran had put out another post on her Substack where she was talking about how like with her, when people ask her how many pages can you do, like how long does it take for you to do a book, like she can't really say with accuracy, because she
Right.
says like, oh, one page could take 2 hours and another page could take 36 hours, right?
Right.
Like, and she had given, like, before she used to, I still kind of do it, where you kind of like gauge how much work you can do. It's like, okay, I can do a page a day or something like that, right? With these pencils and layouts, I can do like I'm averaging about 2 pages a day. I guess depending on how on the scene, I could probably squeeze in more pages, but it's about 2 pages a day I can pencil and letter. And but the thing is, that sometimes the pencils are tight enough that I could start inking them, and then the other times the pencils are so loose that when I finally get to inking them, technically I have to go back and pencil in the details, because I have like a lot of characters that I'm going to have to kind of do like sheets, like character sheets for them,
Right.
that like I know the costumes, I know, what these, like I have a group of characters that I have to put, like draw what their individual faces look like, so that I can ink them correctly when I finally get to them.
Yeah.
Like a bunch of characters like that. My main characters I can draw with my eyes closed, but also it's also, there's certain scenes where their uniforms change, their clothing changes, so I have to draw that in advance, so that when I finally get to those pages, okay, this is the clothing that they're wearing. So there's a lot of placeholder sketches in the meantime. So so those I'm able to get through quickly. But yeah, but these pages are taking me a little bit longer because, like I said, these are really important scenes, and I want to make sure that I'm not rushing through them inadvertently. Oh, so
Mm.
what Colleen Duran was saying was, so she was saying that it's like, oh, how many pages can you do? It's like that's kind of irrelevant. So she switched over to an hourly model. And she says that once she started really gauging per hour how long it takes her to do her work, what she realized is how much time doesn't go into just drawing pages. Like she was saying that if she said that, oh, it takes me to do a day to do a page, she's counting a lot of hours that she was using for admin, that she was using for cleaning out her office, that she was using, like for anything that was kind of like like in the studio related, but not directly her working on pages. So I'm not sure how she keeps track of it. Like so when she sits down and she's working on a page, that's what she times. And what she realizes is that, yeah, technically she's spending less time doing pages, but yeah, it varies from page to page, so she can't just say, oh, it takes me a day to do, because technically it doesn't. But she can't honestly say, well, a page will take me 2 hours, or a page might take me 8 hours. It's like there was one page where she was showing how she was drawing out the grids for her, because there was a lot of perspective in the scenes. And I
Right.
think she said that page alone, just laying out the grids, took her 8 hours.
Jeez.
So time management is really important.
It's a thing.
It's a thing. Yeah, it's a thing. So So my original goal was to have this issue done by today, but I feel, I don't know, I guess because I have it in my head that's like, one, I'm still ahead no matter what.
No, yeah.
So it's like I still have 3 more. As long as I get all my pencils done by the end of the year, I'm okay. Even if I have to stretch it out, Again, I think we spoke about scheduling before, and it's like you don't want to have such a rigid schedule that any little thing destroys
Throws it off.
Yeah,
Right,
throws it off. It's like, oh, I can't do it anymore because like, oh, my schedule's off. So that's kind of how it's like, as long as I get this done by the end of the year, I'm good. And and it's just like, and that also got me thinking about Kickstarter, right? Because that is actually the deadline I should be working towards.
Right.
Because my campaign for Eager Raven launches on June 10th, which gives me about a little over a week to get all my stuff for the campaign done.
Right.
So I still have to do the video for the campaign, and I still have to do another crossover print. I have to finish another crossover print that I want to have the image for when the campaign goes live. So technically those are the more important things I have to be working on rather than my pages, but I want to fit a little bit of everything in it, and then I still have the packages. So yeah, time management really is an important thing. So I guess so the thing that I was thinking about, right? We were kind of talking about this the other day. Oh, thank you, Rob. Yes, I do have a crossover print with Rob for his Night Wolf campaign. Like I said, the links are in the chat. So our campaigns overlap by 4 days. So you can pledge to Rob's campaign now, but when my campaign opens, you have 4 days to pledge so that you can get the crossover. It's a crossover print and a sticker that you get as a bonus for pledging to both our campaigns. It's really cute. I had a lot of fun with it, and I think you guys will like it too. But you have to pledge to both of our campaigns to get the set. If you go to my Facebook, you'll be able to see a peek of the print and the sticker, so you can see what that looks like. But yeah, so you have 4 days to technically I'm saying technically is the word of the day, it seems.
Yeah.
That's the word that's the word that keeps coming out. So yeah, so you have 4 days to pledge to the campaign so that you can get the sticker set and the sticker and print set, crossover print. So there's another one that I'm doing. So this was something that came up again that I saw on writers' threads, but now it was about webtoons, which kind of got me into this whole schedule thing. So remember on a previous episode, I was talking about one author who was crying because she was having people say, I want to wait until your book series is finished before I pick them up.
Right.
I pick up the first book. And she was crying about how if you don't pick up my first book, it doesn't give me the incentive to finish the rest of the series, which kind of like creates this self-fulfilling prophecy, right? People don't want to support the first book unless they know the series is finished, but then not buying the first book disincentivizes.
I'm down knowing we're going to get that first arc complete.
Right.
If you're going to leave me on a cliffhanger and you're never going to fucking give me that sequel.
Right.
And that's why a lot of people don't. Like they choose to wait. I don't think it's series completion as so much as an arc completion. But yeah, same thing.
True. Yeah, true. So what happened was I started seeing the same argument with webtoons. There was an artist who does webtoons complaining that people were telling her, I'm not going to read your story until you finish it. And so I guess this is this is beginning to be a thing, right? Or
Right.
is it beginning to be a thing?
Well, I
Or
think
do you
it's
think
becoming
that-
more prominent as a
Right.
thing. And the reason being is because we've been let down by so many issue ones that we've never seen an issue two for. So many fucking volume ones or the beginning story, you know, like
Right.
we're seeing a lot of people coming in thinking it's easy fucking money. And this has been since COVID. Thinking it's easy fucking money. They jump in and they have no fucking clues what they're doing. They don't know how to market themselves, or their product is just hastily thrown together. But the biggest issue is the no follow-up. There's no
Right.
follow-through. And so we've seen that so many times with shit that we have already invested in and back
Right.
that we take a step back, especially with the newer creators. Like, I'm more like I would back a floppy from you or a floppy from Rob because I know there's going to be more. It's
Yeah.
continuing. I will see the end of this.
Mhm.
Whereas someone just coming in promoting their stuff, as many people as I've seen fall away, you don't have that history.
Right.
I'm reluctant.
Right.
I've been stiffed
Right.
quite a few times.
Right. I mean, also
And not in a good way.
right, yeah. Because also I think that that in a strange way, I think Netflix has trained the audience for that as well.
God, yeah.
One, because they trained us to binge, right?
Yes.
Remember when we had to wait a week for every episode of a TV show? Now it's like you can get the entire series at once. And then you could just binge right through it, spend a weekend just watching, I don't know,
Right.
whatever season one or whatever, or even the whole thing. And you know, you kind of like, okay, you saw it, you get it out of your system, call it a day, right?
Right.
But we've also seen how many shows that we got invested in that they decided, oh, canceled. We're not going to
Yeah.
do a season 2. We're not
Age
gonna
of
finish this.
Resistance.
Right. Yeah. I'm still salty about Marco
Ooh.
Polo. I'm salty about, well, no, actually, I don't feel that bad about The Witcher anymore ever since I read the first novel. So, you know, so
On to greener pastures.
yeah, on to greener pastures. Yeah, so that doesn't bother me as much, especially when you realize, when you go, oh my god, they really did butcher the series. You know, they butchered the story for the series. This is awful. Like, really, the books are so much better. So I don't feel that bad about it. But the thing is, though, it is. They're constant. Here's something new. Invest your time, and then we're canceling it, right?
Yes.
So I know for me, it taught me to not bother.
Yep.
I think the only Netflix series that I did get involved with, that like invested in, I had no involvement, invested in, was Violet Evergarden, because they had to buy the whole series.
Right.
So at least I knew that was done. I have the Blu-rays. I'm good to go. I have the entire series on Blu-ray. So I was able to pretty much. I haven't watched the movie. It's a very difficult show for me to get through, but I love it so much. But at least I know it's finished and that I can watch it at any time. So it's like the fact that it just seems like all of these three these different medias are kind of converging around the same complaint. I am not committing to anything unless it's finished.
Yes, we did.
Oh, yes. Thank you. So it's kind of interesting to see that now we're seeing this in novels, and now I'm seeing people complain about it in webtoons. And like you said, comics has kind of had this, indie comics on Kickstarter kind of had this issue for a while, where people would put out issue 1s and then you don't see an issue 2 for another year and a half, if not ever.
Right.
So here's the thing, right? So here's the thing that we were discussing, right? So I'm packing up Tall Tales, and Jose just got a notification that he's getting his Oswald books for the Oswald campaign that just finished tomorrow, which means that the second, like, we're going to be packing up Oswald the second the last Tall Tales box goes out the door.
Right.
And then Jose says that once he gets those books, he wants to pack up the Oswald as quickly as possible, and then he wants to launch the next Oswald book, I think, on Friday. So he wants to spend the weekend just packing everything and getting the next campaign going,
Like we do.
As the feral the feral Kickstarter goblin that he is.
He's
Now,
behaving himself because we haven't impressed him enough to say wow yet.
So is that a Frayne? Is that a Frayne? Is he under a new account?
I don't know.
You know,
It's
because
a 33. Who are you?
Yeah, is that you, a Frayne? So okay, so when we're talking about doing your first issue on Kickstarter or doing any issue on Kickstarter, so in order to kind of combat this idea that, you know, you have people watching going, well, I want to see how committed you are to your series first.
Right.
You know, I'm not going to commit to your series. Oh, there you go. Hello, Afraid. How quickly should people put out campaigns nowadays, knowing that, like, this trend of people going, oh, I want to wait and see, I want to wait?
Okay, so here's the deal. With the time and money that it costs most indie creators to make a book, I'd like to see 2 issues a year. More is ideal,
right?
But I don't feel like waiting a year for a book,
right?
And I am not the minority,
right,
in that. And ideally, I think somebody said it was 3 for them, or 3 to 4. But I am of the school of thought that shit costs money.
Right.
If you're making the fucking profit, if you're making 10, 15, 20K where you're just rolling those books over and able to pay those artists, writers out, I expect to see more from you.
Right.
But for the average creator, I'm good with just you coming around twice a year.
Right. At least.
Just as long as there's movement.
Right.
An update on your socials, you know, show us some work in progress along the way, whatever.
Yeah, because that is something that is also pretty common.
Keep the interest.
As well. Yeah, that it's like they put out their first book and then they go radio silent until the next book comes out.
Right.
Which is not a good idea.
Nope. I got a guy that does that almost every fucking campaign, and it's like, bro, it's like starting from scratch every time.
Right. Yeah. I mean, because like Jose is able to like crank out campaigns because he does have the backlog of material that's already done, ready to go. You know, it's like, so yeah, it's like if he could put out a campaign every 2 weeks, he would. You know?
Right.
But
he would probably experience backer fatigue from that, but you know, because it is a balance. There is too much.
Right. There's too much. Right. So what would you think that optimum would be, like quarterly?
Optimal quarterly, yeah.
You know, because I just find it ironic that I would put more out a year, but I'm waiting on art. Yeah. I mean that's, you know, as for me, you know, I do the artwork myself, but even then I still have to pace myself out because I don't have enough work in the bank, you know, to just put out campaigns, and kind of like, no, it's like I have, like, I'm working on books as I'm going along. It's just that my thing is to always have a book complete and finished when the campaign launches. I Yeah, it's like I really hold to that. It's like I kind of wonder how much people still push back on that idea. Have your book complete before you launch. Because I know, like in the past, oh, I'd have creators get mad at me for saying that. Have your book finished.
Right.
Or at least at least have it 70-80% finished.
Right.
So that, because you don't want to be working on a book and running a campaign at the same time. Those are like two
No.
different ordeals. You don't want to be finishing the book that you're running the campaign for. I mean, that's just, and also, by having it done, you're able to get the books out and printed and back to you as quickly as possible. And then you're able, hey, Tyler, indie creators don't like to hear this. The bar has been raised, and a lot of creators are getting left behind because they're refusing to come to Jesus. It's true.
Amen.
It's true. It's true. That's what
Very
it's feeling
true.
like. That whole like raising the bar. That we're seeing a lot we're seeing raised expectations. It's kind of like people were coasting a lot, like large companies and everything, that they were coasting on being able to just half-ass crank out shit and people would
Right.
still buy it. And now like I said, I'm beginning to see it in publishing. I'm beginning to see it in webtoons. I've seen it in us. There's the whole Netflix fatigue. It's like, no, I want to see it finished. I want to know I want to see how committed you are before
Right.
I'm committed to it. That's why it's like every time I talk about Eagle Raven, I keep saying it's 15 issues. It's 15 issues. I'm up to issue 13. It's almost done. Even though those final books are not going to be released until 2025, at least I think it gives people something to know, something to see that's like, oh, okay, this is where you're going. I can,
Right.
I feel confident, and I've already put out 8 issues. The next trade is coming out, and it's just to keep it moving. Right. Because also at the same time too, I'm alternating between, I'm going to start alternating between 3 titles, Eagle Raven, Tall Tales, and House of Bob. So at least like I always have a campaign running somehow. There's always a campaign. But yeah, so it's like Tom had said that he's been seeing the amount of campaigns kind of going lower. Like he
I
says,
just think it's
there's
about average.
it's about it.
Really.
Like, you think that hasn't really changed the amount of
Mm.
campaigns that we see per month?
No, not really. I mean,
Not
not
really? Okay.
significantly anyway.
Right.
I mean, there are fewer than this time
Right.
last year,
Yeah.
but not so significantly. It's like something I would fucking
Right.
panic about. It's
Right.
like,
Yeah. Now here's the thing too.
but
So
I know a lot of people getting ready to go live come June and July.
Oh, really? Okay. So that's
yeah,
probably when that
like
number's
I
gonna
had to
jump
turn
up.
people away. I'm like, yeah, I can't help you right now. I'm
Right.
sorry.
Right. The book is full.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's okay. So it's possible to do too
Yeah.
too few Kickstarters,
Right.
and it's possible to do too much.
Right.
So, okay.
I mean, because you have to take into consideration,
Right.
you're asking for what, a 24 to 36, 30, whatever page book, the same amount that I could go buy a fucking movie ticket for and get out of my
Right.
house for an evening,
Right.
And while that's a good thing to support you here and there,
Right.
3-4 times a year,
Yeah.
it's another thing if you're coming to me asking
Right.
me for that every 3 to 4 weeks.
Right.
You
Which
can't
I
expect.
find, in a strange way, a little bit ironic, considering that like a lot of people had gotten in their heads for a little bit that it's like everybody goes every month. You go every month to a comic book store, right? So it's like, so why would putting out a book every month on Kickstarter not be the same thing?
Because Kickstarter is going to cost you 3 times as much.
Right.
And it's a gamble.
Right.
It really is. I mean, like I said, unless you're dealing with a creator that you know is dependable and fulfills and brings you the quality that you expect, it's a fucking gamble.
Right.
I'm
Now,
not gambling going to the
right.
comic book store. I'm going to go pay $4.99 or $6.99 for
Right.
a fucking book, and I'm leaving with it that day, right then and there.
Right. Right. But I guess so I guess I don't know. So 2 at minimum, like at least
Yeah,
like
2 at
issues out a
minimum.
year.
Yeah,
Like
and
quarterly is
keep the
actually
interest
better.
going. Keep the
Right.
interest going in between.
Yeah, you see that? Yeah, I mean to circle
Don't-
back to that.
Don't
Yeah.
come out and be like, fucking, oh, here's my campaign, push, and then disappear and come back with issue 2 in 6 months, and you haven't said a fucking peep since you closed.
Right. Yeah, because a lot. Tyler says Nita nailed it. It's a gamble, and that's why new creators are struggling because they don't have that goodwill. Average creators aren't evolving, and the ones who are killing it are hustling. Yeah,
There you go. Perfect example.
yeah. Pat Shand has created such goodwill with his community that he can drop 3 to 4 books a month on. Oh my God, he puts out that many books a month.
Sometimes.
And he raises like $30,000 on each a month. Also, the thing with Pat Shand too is that because there's been a lot of talk, a lot of buzz about not safe for work campaigns kind of getting hassled on Kickstarter. And here's also the benefit of building that goodwill. Pat Shand could be told, and I think is what happened on one of his campaigns. He was told he had to remove his pages from one of his campaigns because they were not family friendly or they were not appropriate. And I don't think that hurt Pat Shand at all.
No.
Because he has built, not only has he, like Tyler, he's built that community, the people who love his audience, right? To a point that he could put out 4 books a month. God. 4 books a month on Kickstarter, and they'll still
fucking machine,
right? And they'll still make money. Obviously, he doesn't have that problem with dividing his audience.
Well, there's also different followers divided between the different IPs too. But yeah, absolutely. But like, if you see a book by Pat Shand, you know if you back it, you're fucking getting it, and you know the art's going to be high quality as well as the lettering and everything. I mean, you know it's the perfect package.
And also, he doesn't need to put not safe for work elements on his campaign if he couldn't. Like, you would already know what,
because he can sell you on the story.
Right. He can sell you exactly that. He could just say, oh, it's Pat Shand. You know the story already. You know, you don't even need to see artwork.
Right.
Right. And his fans have such trust in him that they'll buy like any type of not safe for work nonsense that Kickstarter.
Yeah, absolutely.
Rob says, and Pat is a guest writer on Nightwolf Volume 2. Oh, so there you go. So there another reason to go back, Nightwolf. That his audience is so in tune to what he puts out. All he has to, like, he literally just has to show up.
Yep.
And people and his fans will come out for his book.
Yep.
You know, while it's going to be harder for somebody just starting because they don't have that. And they're probably
and also allow me to be the complete cunt in the room right now.
All right.
The 2 campaigns that were pulled, one of them seriously fucked up. You're running on a fucking platform that specifies that they don't really want to deal in the adult fucking content, right? And you left an exposed nipple on an image within the campaign. You also had some awkward wording. Like, I know everybody, y'all can come attack me later. I don't give a fuck anymore.
Right.
It needs to be said. There were flaws. People have gotten too comfortable in the way they promote their not safe for work content that it's like, if you make a Kickstarter and you fucking go scroll that wall and it screams, I am porn. Yeah, you're going to get fucking flagged, buddy. I'm sorry, not sorry, but sorry, because he was just as relaxed as some of the other creators have gotten.
Right.
But when I went through and I fine-toothed that one campaign that everybody keeps bringing up, there was a nipple exposed that was not censored. And there was also some weird wording. Like, if I'm pushing adult mature content, I wouldn't be like, oh, and there's a teen approved book in the same campaign, because now you're telling me I want younger audiences viewing this too. Yeah, that was very fucking iffy. And then every interior page, even though it was censored slightly, contained nudity.
Right.
On the interiors too. Sorry, not sorry. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
you
not gonna
got
say you asked for it because there's
right,
a lot of other creators that are doing it, but you
right,
guys are pushing your fucking luck.
right. Yeah, they're not. And also being a smaller creator, you're going to feel the brunt of
Right.
anything on
Right.
Kickstarter side
And
a
that's
lot
and
harder
that sucks,
than
but that's the
right,
reality of it.
right, than if like Pat Chan got told to take down
Right.
pages.
Right.
You know, now it's like I think like his censor bars are gigantic now.
Right. And that's actually the way it should be. You want to
Right,
share that risque images, let somebody
right,
else or do it yourself on your own fucking social media.
right,
Just be like, yeah, this is what's almost I'll show you almost everything under those bars, if not everything that's under those bars if I'm in the mood.
right,
You know,
right,
like just but you
right,
have to fucking be cautious. We used to be that way. It earlier on, it was the
right,
full
yeah,
on censored bars or the NSFW or naughty
right.
bits or something cover it. Now we're using the tiniest emoji to cover the
Right. We're
areola.
almost doing
Or
like in manga, you know how it's like something they just put like little stripes.
right.
And
It's
you can
like,
still
no,
see,
that's
but
not gonna fucking
yeah,
fly. And that's what
the
happened
weird
on
censor
this one
bars
campaign
and
that everybody's flipping out
anti-manga.
over.
You know, yeah, it's
Watch
yeah,
your wording, watch your imagery.
right. But also I think, you know, so going to the topic, social media poker face, right?
Uh-huh.
So what I guess like I know you usually make these things up, but was
No, I
something
didn't. That's an intentional title.
okay, so
This one,
so what inspired you for that title?
the amount of people I see whining right now on Facebook.
Oh no.
Yes, you guys look like a bunch of titty baby twats. And here's the deal. Like, okay, we all have problems. We all have issues, but if you're using your profile or your group page as a business to draw attention to what you're trying to create and what you're
Right.
trying to sell, the pity fucking post or the whiny bitch post, it just makes you roll your fucking eyes, man. And everybody's like, oh, well, that's because Kickstarter, or I'm sorry, that's because Facebook's algorithm is geared towards drama. In some cases, yes, but it's depending on how you've curated yourself. I
Right.
do not entertain drama at
Right.
all on my feed.
No,
I block
yeah.
people in my post and everything, and I have done nothing but grow, and I am being seen. And you can
Right.
unfollow me right now if I'm saying I'm better than you, because guess what? I might be. Some of you, because but I'm not posting all the fucking drama. I'm not
Right.
hating on
Right.
you just have to. And yeah, and somebody, I know some motherfucker out there's gonna be like, oh, but she's posting titties all the time, that's where she gets seen. Bitch, okay, whatever, but I'm
Right.
posting titties and I'm fucking, and Facebook's allowing me to do it. But
Right.
anyway,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just everybody's whining about everything. They're mad about the algorithm. Okay, you want to be mad about the algorithm and your personal analytics? Are you going into other groups? Are you showing support for other creators? Are you commenting on other people's fucking feed? Are you sharing and engaging in their content too? Because that's a huge factor in social media. You have to be fucking social.
Yeah.
But as far as the poker face goes, okay, so somebody drops out of your fucking campaign. It was a really high tier. You took a
Right.
hit for it. Move on, move forward, and tell me more about why I should back it. Not, oh
Right.
man, help me out here because now I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm sorry that happened to you. It happens to everybody.
Right. Yeah.
But you guys, just the negativity during your campaigns. Yeah, okay, I hear some people saying, oh, well, it works for blah, blah, blah. Yeah, well, because blah, 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 that's all they've ever fucking done. But for the most part, majority of people tune that shit out, and that's not going to get you those loyal fans that are fucking going to come back.
Right. Yeah.
They're just there for the entertainment. They're there for the shit show that you're bringing
Right.
to the fucking table, not your fucking book.
Right. Oh,
If
that's
you want to
yeah.
sell a shit show, sell a fucking shit show, but stop trying to sell your fucking comic in the middle of it.
Right. Yeah,
'Cause
because that's
You look
yeah.
pathetic.
Yeah, that's also another like because I know we mentioned this on a previous show before about like yeah, it's like why would you want to associate that negativity with your book?
You don't.
You know, because it's like even with that author, right? Who was complaining about that, and even with that webtoons person who was complaining, right? Bad look. It's like,
It is.
especially with that author, where she was pretty much saying, it's like, well, this disincentivizes me from continuing the series.
Then that shows me your motive to create is just
Right.
financial, not
Right.
something that's inside of you that needs to come
Right.
out. Why?
So it's
And
like,
if
so
you're
then,
not
so
that engaged with
right.
your own story, how the fuck
Right.
can you expect me to
Right.
be?
No, but not only that, but you're proving the point of the person who is telling
Right.
them that,
Exactly.
oh, I want to wait till this is finished. You know, because
Yeah, because now you're telling me that you don't want to finish if I don't fund you.
right. Yeah, exactly.
Which means
know?
you don't have faith in your own shit.
Right. Or something. I mean,
Right.
it's just like, yeah, it's like I don't even know who the author is, but it's like, if I remembered their name, it's like, oh wait, you're the oh no, I'm not going to read
Yeah.
the book. You know, and you know, and that's kind of the thing. So yeah, it's just a lot of like, I don't know. Like I said, my thoughts are kind of all over the place, but
Mine too, all the time.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, but you know, like the people who just want to, like, they just want to dump an ad and then leave,
Right.
or on social media, or it's like, or like I said, that the whole thing where it's like they disappear, and then it's like you don't even remember. How quickly does it? How quickly do you forget a creator if they go quiet?
Oh, it doesn't take long at all.
Right.
I'll give you a perfect example. Like, a lot of people were kind of like, "Wow, that was fast." When Meredith passed away, and we got
Right.
together in a back room, and we were like, "Okay, we have to come back, and we have to do this soon." I think we took like
Right.
a fucking 14-day break, and we're
Right.
back.
Yeah.
Because of how fast you die on social media. People
Right.
forget you really fucking quickly.
Uh-huh.
I don't care how big you are. You fucking
Right.
disappear for a couple of months, and
Right.
for the most part, unless you were somebody who was this huge millions of followers type
Right.
shit, you come back, people are gonna be like, huh?
Right. Right.
You know, or that an audience that you once had engaged, is you're gonna have to rebuild that fucking momentum every
Right.
fucking time. You can't do that. It's nonstop consistency.
Right. So okay, so if you only put out a book twice a year,
Mhm.
right? Okay, let's start with like really basic things. If you put
Okay.
out a book twice a year, how should a person kind of engage their audience in the meantime between that gap?
That's simple. Be authentic.
Mm-hmm.
Engage with stuff that fucking interests you. Unless it's politics, don't do that. Don't do that on business pages.
Right.
But,
and also the thing is too, is that also platforms are beginning to, like, I know that on Instagram, there's this thing where I read recently where
heavily
they're going
burying
to
feed.
start burying your
Yes.
feed if you start talking about politics.
Yes. And that's not just that. It's
Yeah,
just
and
Instagram
it's not going to
admitting
be,
it. It's not just Instagram.
right.
But
No, yeah.
but be authentic. Talk about
Right.
shit you like. You got a mainstream comic you're into, a fucking movie,
Right.
whatever. Maintain that engagement. Talk about the progress that's on the book that's
Right.
coming up.
Mhm.
Thank the fucking backers. You know, share their images of them sharing your
Right.
shit when they get your packages.
Right.
Just keep it fucking going. Keep that fucking flow. Be your authentic self. You know,
Right.
just but maintain that engagement.
Right.
Don't let
Yeah.
it just fall away.
Right. Because again, it goes back to, well, you know, like, oh, but Polito doesn't, and Patchan does this, and Polito does that, and it's like, you see, the problem,
They're not here anymore. They're
Right,
here. Stop
right.
making the comparison.
Right, exactly. That it's like, yes, it's one thing to try to emulate successful people, right?
Right.
But the irony of that is that successful people can get away with stuff that you can't as a not successful person.
Right.
You know, it's like, you know, like I said, Patchan could release a campaign with literally the campaign just says, oh, Patchan's next book. And that's it, you know, and it would still make $30,000,
Right?
Because his audience knows what to expect from him.
Yes.
Right. Honestly, I kind of think if Patchan did a surprise campaign where you didn't know what you were getting, he'd still make $30,000. Oh, good morning, Ronan. You know, it's the same thing with Polito. That it's like, yeah, he can do a lot of odd things, but that doesn't mean that you can do it, because he has the audience to support him
Right.
doing odd things. But for you, it's, you kind of have to hustle a little bit more. Just because they're able to do it doesn't mean you're able to do it.
Because they did that hustle already. They've
Right,
been
yeah.
where you are. They were both
Right.
at the bottom at one
Uh-huh.
time. Who?
Right.
Brian who?
Right.
Pat who?
Right.
You know, like
Yeah.
they were there.
Right.
But they did the fucking hustle, the grind, the consistency, and it
Right.
paid off. You go back and you look at the history of fucking Brian Pulido. He didn't just make a fucking comic and there goes. He built a goddamn army of followers
Right,
in the
yeah.
Sworn Nation.
Right.
Made it a fucking elite club
Mhm.
almost.
Right.
And it just kept growing and growing and growing
Right.
and growing.
Yeah, so here's maybe a little incendiary question. So these people who complain on Facebook that you see, right?
Mhm.
How many of them, like, how many are complaining while at the same time having a book that you can see, like, okay, yeah, the appeal for something like this is going to be limited, so adjust your expectations accordingly?
A lot. Not all. Some are
Right.
really good. So
Right.
some are really good, and they're just not
Right.
being seen. But that's because, or they're not being seen as the person feels they should. But
Right.
it's like this. Like I said, one, you're fighting all fucking odds coming into this now as a new creator. If you
Right.
came in pre-COVID or during COVID,
Yeah.
you have a much better chance of already having a small, at least
Right.
a small following of loyal
Yeah.
backers.
Right.
So, but yeah, the ones complaining are usually, and actually I hate to say that because, oh god, I don't want him to feel targeted. I
No.
recently ran it. Okay, so I recently worked a campaign
Okay.
and it wasn't going as well as he wanted it to, and he made a very public post about quitting comics
Oh
in
no.
the middle of the campaign.
Oh no.
It's like, dude, what are you doing? And it was a very successful by standards being, okay, so what is it? The majority of Kickstarters
Right.
between what is like
Oh,
1,500
75% is yeah, it's
Yeah.
1,000 and
Yeah.
10,000.
1,000 and 10,000.
75%
And he
is in
was
there.
already past that fucking 10K mark.
Right.
And was upset about it. And I get it. I understand because he was
Right.
used to seeing higher. But in the end, after that post, when he started picking back up and being positive again and pushing
Right.
the campaign or whatever, it jumped back up and he
Well, that's
hit right
good.
around his norm.
Right.
But it was like, so it's
Like,
it's
don't do that.
everybody, but that's just not the way you do it.
Right, yeah.
It just because the next day there were a couple of drops, and the reason
Well, yeah,
why is
because if
because you're
you
introducing a new arc, and then you tell me in the middle of this campaign that I'm not going to see the end of it. Okay,
Right.
well,
and that
sorry.
swings back to the original to the original topic, where it's like, if you tell me in advance you don't know whether this is going to finish or you're not going to
Right.
finish, then I don't have to invest in it. Why am I
Right.
going to invest my time and my money in this?
And if you're
and
all
yeah, and it is,
negative, it's
yeah,
like what
it is
you want to
funny.
incite good feelings in
Right.
marketing.
Yeah.
You want people to feel like they're getting something.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
if you're not doing that, like I said, you're getting
Right.
that temporary pity fuck, not a loyal. You're not building anything.
Right. Yeah.
You're putting a band-aid on it
Right.
and moving on.
Because also, like, I mean, I don't know if this is kind of related or not, but the thing is that, like, also depending on the type of book that you're doing, you do have to kind of understand that
You're niche within a
sometimes,
niche within a niche.
what your niche is,
Right.
where it's like, like, I don't know, people, I mean, I don't think we see them as much. I mean, how am I going to word this? That it's like, yeah, new people coming in now are having a hard time because everybody who came in before you ruined it for you.
Yes.
Essentially.
Ouch. But it's true. She's not wrong. She's not wrong.
It's kind of like, this is why we're in this situation now where, like I said, multiple medias are seeing, well, I'm not going to invest until you're done. Right. But also the thing is too, is the whole, like, know your niche. And also, understand that, okay, your art, it's like, because Tyler talks about how people, like a lot of creators, like they really resent this whole thing about marketing, you know. But the thing is, though, it's like all we're asking you to do is know your audience and know who you're selling to.
That's
You
another
know,
thing.
it's like, because sometimes, yeah, are there certain books that find audiences easier than others? Yes,
Yes.
there are. Because, depending on what you choose to do, there could be a very low barrier to entry when it comes to finding an audience,
Right.
But you also have to realize that sometimes your book is limited to begin with because of what you're doing. Like if you want to be all artsy and it's about the art and this, that, and the other thing, that's fine. But you have to accept that your audience might be a lot smaller than what you would like it to be,
Right.
because that's just the nature of the niche, the nature of the environment that you're in.
Right.
And I know that there are people who get very frustrated at that. It's like, I understand why I can't get people to see my book and this, that, and the other thing. It's like, well, are you trying to sell ice cream at a Home Depot?
Right.
Type of thing.
And also, especially
yeah.
for those niche within a niche, get
Right.
the fuck out of the comic sandbox. Stop running around in
Right.
I mean, yes, be there, but
Right.
also reach out. Like if there's something similar, reach out to those groups as
Right.
well.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying jump in there and pump, like just drop your fucking link and
Right.
leave. Start engaging with the people within that group and build a social media following with people with a common fucking interest outside of fucking comics.
Right. Yeah.
That will
Yeah.
help you immensely.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm trying to do now. It's a little difficult because I feel very fish out of water. It's like, it's the whole
Hot.
thing that it's like, can I get, it's like, how can realistically can I get people who are predominantly reading novels to be interested in a comic? Even though I am working on a novelization, but in the meantime, like,
Right.
how do I kind of like fit in? It's like, yeah, I like those types of novels too, but would you like the stuff that I'm doing? So it's like, so it's a little harder. It's
harder, but that's the
yeah.
whole thing. It's work.
Right. Yeah.
It's work. If you're not cut out for it, you're not fucking cut out for it.
Right. Because also, how many people are doing this because they're pretending they're running a business when it's really just a hobby and they're in denial about it?
That's one of those things you can only assume with certain people.
Right.
Like you can only assume because you
Right.
really don't know where somebody's heart is, and you really don't know if nowadays you don't know if someone tells you it's my passion project, if it's legitimately their passion project or if that's just what they've been trained to say because it's what they've seen for the past 6
Right.
years.
Right.
It's hard to say.
Right. Because it's like, I guess it's like, it's kind of in the end, you can only, as a consumer, right, as a customer, as a person interested in what you're buying, all right, let's take me out of this, oh, I'm an artist doing this stuff, right? It's like, as somebody who's buying books.
Oh, some hot
Right.
bitch just walked into my store. Hello.
Like, it's like, I'm looking for a consistency. I'm looking for something that I'm interested in. It's like books that, it's like, what is it? What we were talking about, like interest trumps story, because
Right.
interest is what
interest
is
is what brings them into the story.
Right.
The
And
interest
then,
is what hooks them to the story.
Right. And because it's like, there's a whole bunch of books that I've been buying on Kickstarter. I still buy books
Right.
on Kickstarter. But the thing is, though, it's like, I'm being more selective as to what I'm buying. Right. And, and I'm finding myself willing to spend more if I feel like I'm getting a better, I don't want to say a better value, because that's kind of a weird, because in the end, it's like when it comes to comics, like what's value, right? Well, you have entertainment, right? Like the value is in the entertainment, but like even if a book entertains me, it's not a value. I don't think it'd be worth it for me to buy like a first issue as opposed to a trade paperback,
Right.
or to a collected trade, right?
Right.
So technically, I find more value. Technically, being the key word today, I find more value in a trade that entertains me. Yes. Than a we have to do the hold on, like the every time was it Pee-wee's Playhouse? The
Yeah.
word of the day. Like what's like I don't know, like what am I valuing in the books that I buy? Okay. All right. Entertainment is always, yes, I want to be entertained by the books
Right.
that I'm looking at, right?
Right.
Also, I'm looking at like page count. So it's like if it's a trade, if it has 4 issues collected in a trade, I'm more in a series that I'm interested in.
Right.
I'm more likely to buy that. Let's see, what else am I valuing? How well done the book is. It's like there's some art books that I'm looking
Is
at.
it readable?
Well,
Like,
if it's
lettering
just an
is
art book,
everything.
no, that's for sure. I mean, but that's more like technical issues. So let's see. Yes. What like there's some art books that I'm looking at, like how thick the book is, right? How many
Right.
pages, right? It's like ElfQuest. They have like Flesk has a new
Right.
campaign where they have all 3 of they're collecting all of her ElfQuest covers in one volume, right?
I saw that.
And they had 2 of her previous books that I wasn't able to get before because it was sold out on their website. And without even thinking, all 3 of those books ended up in my cart. And it's like I literally did a hit and run on that campaign.
Uh-oh.
I didn't have to think about it. It's like I
Right.
want those books, right?
Right.
Like the value. So I guess like the value is it's like it's like ElfQuest, Wendy Pini, her artwork, and it's like it's Flesk. That's a company that I'm interested. I know they produce high quality books, just like
Right.
Teshin is another. Like if it's from Teshin, it's like okay, you don't have to tell me anymore. I know about that publisher. So it's like books that are beautiful. It's like
Right.
beauty is a value for me. Is this book beautiful? Like if I'm buying a novel and it's a special edition, does it have the wraparound covers and the, like gilded pages, and does it have illustrations on it? Is it
Does
going
it
to
have
look
the
nice?
silk bookmark?
Right, exactly. It's like there's I hold value in the beauty of the final book. And yeah, and you know what? And whether it's a complete series.
Right.
It's like that's like how many pages, how many issues is this a story arc that I could just buy in one shot? Even if the story is going to continue after that, is it a story arc? Like I just went on eBay. I was looking through my French books, right? I was looking through my
Right.
French books, and I realized, I figured, let me check eBay to see if they have a couple of these books. And this particular book is an ongoing series, but the volumes are broken up into story arcs. So
Nice.
even
I
though there's
appreciate that.
10 volumes to this particular story arc, it already says it's a 2-parter. So all I have to do to finish this is buy the second volume, and technically I have everything, even though I don't have the entire 10-volume set. Right? So that's a value for me. The fact that I can get a complete story. So as a consumer, as someone looking for this stuff, that's what I value.
Right.
So that's what I'm looking for. And I think
Entertainment and a sense of completion.
to boil it down.
I want the
right?
same thing in sex as I want from my books.
Oh boy.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. But so yeah, and I think that a lot that there's creators out there, like if you posted up like one of those posts that you were talking about where they were complaining, if you were somebody who never met that creator before, didn't know anything about their
I would
book,
be completely turned off.
right, and you saw that, right?
Right.
And I think that a lot of creators that they don't think about how their audience or their budding audience that they're trying to
Right.
grow
The
is
newcomers,
seeing them. How is this budding customer base seeing you? You know, it's like, okay, if you're only putting out a book a year, what kind of book is it? Because putting out a graphic novel in 1 year is different than putting out a 32-page comic.
Right.
Right. So I would rather support a creator who puts out one book a year that's a graphic novel.
Right.
Than a creator who only puts one issue out a year and it's a 22 to 32 page book.
With no completion.
Right. So it's like, I'd rather pay more money for that trade.
And
right?
the only exception to that is the one-offs. If it's
if it's a one-off. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if it is, make sure you say that because that will actually encourage people.
Right. And yeah, it's like if you have like, because I have a feeling that's the reason why the Peacekeepers it's still our top seller. Right. It's our top seller trade. So, we have, so this one right here, out of all our Kickstarters, this is the one which surprised me. But if you think about it, not really. This is a complete story.
Right.
Right here. This is it. This is the entire thing. So if you wanted to get into Tall Tales and didn't want to collect 4 trades, but you kind of still wanted to suss out the vibe of the series, you buy this. Right? Because it's just the one volume. So just to people, this is a better value than buying, any of my other books. It's like I'm kind of happy like this year is like, Jose's finally putting together a lot more trades for Oswald. Because it's like it's nice, you want to try Oswald and now it's like oh, you can now pick up the trades. Like the trades are a better value, right? Because it's like you usually get a complete story in one of these books, right? And it's always available, so you don't have to worry about anything being limited edition, right? And it's just it's like every campaign he's selling another trade. He's selling more trades from it's like building up that back catalog. I'm always selling Peacekeepers. Like even on this one, people are more likely to pick up Peacekeepers than there are Volume 1, which is funny. But this is, a whole story. So yeah, so it's like, so I just had a lot of thoughts, like kind of like all over the place. But the scheduling thing is kind of scheduling and kind of like keeping that torch alive in between campaigns.
Yeah. It's really it's important. Like I said, I work with one guy. Every time he goes live, he's super active on fucking Facebook. He's promoting, and then he disappears.
Mm-hmm.
And then you don't see him again until like 2 weeks before he launches.
Right. Which could be anywhere from what, like 3 to 6 months?
6 months or more sometimes.
Wow. Okay. Yeah,
it's not good because then you have to reignite the audience that you had engaged before. You can't focus on reaching out and building a new audience. You're just trying to resurrect these motherfuckers.
Right.
Karen.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. I guess do you have any like final thoughts on that?
No,
You
I'm
know?
pretty sure I lost half my followers today. I don't care. I really don't.
Right.
I'm
I
tired.
mean, it's like, look, it's like I think that if you want to do this seriously, which sometimes, yeah, it's a drag. The grind is a
Sometimes.
drag. You know, it's like,
But
look,
but
I'm
save
not
that
going to
for the
say
back
otherwise.
room. Save that for your friends,
You know,
especially when you're live.
right?
Unless you're
Yeah.
doing something like there are times that we'll bring up something negative in a show,
Uh-huh.
but we're doing it for educational
Right.
purposes
Yeah.
to help show you.
Well, I think
it-
there's a difference. There's a difference between complaining and transparency.
right, right.
You know, because I don't think it's good for people to think that, well, you know, they seem to have their shit together. How come my campaign's not
Oh,
working
we
the
don't.
same way? It's like, oh no, yeah, we don't.
No,
We don't.
no, no. What is
You know,
that?
even up until the last minute, and even during a campaign, we're scrambling to fix things, to adjust things, to like, you know, we're pivoting certain things. You know, we see certain trends, like, okay, let's do this instead. What if we did this? What if we did that?
It's nonstop.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, and I'm not gonna say it's fun all the time, you know.
No. In fact, lately,
Yeah, it's testing, you know, it's testing, you know,
but
but
look, social media poker face.
yeah, it's like, but you don't let them see you sweat when you're, you know,
Mm-mm.
when you turn to your followers, when you turn to the people watching you, what do you want them to see? You know, and also also think about what they want to see.
Right.
You know, I'm not talking about changing anything to cater to them specifically. I'm
Right.
just talking about, you know, think about how people who've never seen you or your work before are would see you. Like, how would they react to you acting?
And you should think that with every
Right.
post you make.
Right.
You want to fucking have a feed, make it non-public for your
Right.
immediate friends and other
Right.
creators
Yeah.
that you run in circles with or
Or
whatever.
private DM or something.
A private
DM,
DM, something,
private
yeah, because
groups.
we
Yeah.
all need to vent. Because God knows some of the
Yeah.
messages poor Daphne's been sent, but don't blast that shit.
Yeah.
Put out the bait for the people you want to attract on your fucking feed.
Right.
Like, really, like,
Uh-huh.
be positive. You want people thinking good of your stuff.
Right.
You want people having positive thoughts, not somebody okay, so it doesn't matter how many positive posts you've had before. That new person pops into your feed or you pop into their feed for the first fucking time, and
Mhm.
all they see is this fucking rant of how miserable you are because your Kickstarter's live
Right.
and somebody bailed on another
Right.
tier last night,
Uh-huh.
and you're just bitching. What the
Right.
fuck? First of all, they're going to question you and the fucking platform itself.
Right.
You really have to consider how we're speaking about this. You want people to trust Kickstarter enough to put their money on that fucking platform to go
Right.
into your fucking pocket, and you're going to sit there and talk
Right.
shit about it?
Right.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm just
Yeah.
that's my final thought. Fuck
Right.
this
Oh,
shit.
okay.
Fuck this shit. I'm out.
Oh my goodness. But yeah. So that those are my end of the month thoughts. You know, like I said, my freak out over finishing this comic, finishing my comic is not that bad this month, because it's like, you know what? It's like right now the priority is getting quality work done as opposed to being able to say I finished it. So
Right.
it's not that bad. So you know, it's, you know, and also, you know, I can save my anxiety for when the campaign launches. You know, it's like, will I suffer the fate of many campaigns who are seeing a drop in their funding, or
Trigger warning. Fuck you.
or will I be able to sustain my average on this next book? You know, who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, but well, so I guess that's it for us, right? I mean,
Yeah, we're done
I
here.
think we're kind of done here. you know, like I said, it's like we make these topics up as we go along, and sometimes we just make up the show as we go along. So, you know, so if you got something interesting out of it, you know, hey, at least we succeeded at something, right?
Right.
At least we're not talking about insoles. That was a previous show.
Jesus.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Oh, and one last thing. I finally downloaded Glaze for my computer. Because also along with shitty things that Instagram is doing, they pretty much told everybody, fuck you, we're going to be scraping, we're going to continue scraping AI, scraping Instagram. And
so
there is
let's
no
poison
way.
that shit with
Right,
Glaze
so-
and Nightshade.
Yeah, so we are so and you're not allowed to opt out.
Wow.
So yeah, so I downloaded Glaze, so that should be interesting to try out. You know, and yeah, you know, and just see what happens. And also it's like I signed up for another account. What is that thing called? It's a new page called Kara. It's an artist social and portfolio platform. It's so as it says, it's like it's just strictly for artists. So if you wanted like a page or something, a social media platform where you're just talking to other artists, like it was Twitter, but it's only artists and it's all portfolios, and you know, it's like I just signed up for that, so I'm gonna try that out and see. I don't think this is much of a selling platform in terms of to each other, as it is just more of a portfolio site. So if you needed something like that to showcase your work, this, I think what it might be a DeviantArt alternative. You know, so if you're looking for something that's not DeviantArt, try Kara, Cara, at the Kara app. It's still, they were saying that it's still in beta, so it might still be a little buggy. But I don't know under what context they're saying that. But I don't know. This is just something else to try out. And they were the ones that reminded me. It's like, yeah, they suggest everybody use Glaze on their platform. Because remember, it's like these scrapers, they just force their way in through the back doors. So even though they have a strict anti-AI stance, they can't guarantee that they won't get scraped. So they're saying everybody should be using Glaze on their stuff. So yeah, so I think that's it in terms of just like random stuff.
Okay, and then we do have a couple of active campaigns that we want you guys to check out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we got Justin and Amy Hunt have Ninja Witch Dawn of Betrayal there in their last week. That's all these are Kickstarters, by the way. Night Wolf Volume 2.
Yeah.
Don't forget Rob's book, because the Wolf Daddy needs that support. And also that beautiful fucking cover I've been sharing everywhere, Ulton Spec, launches tomorrow morning. So watch out for that, because that's going to be hot.
That's
and
yeah.
I want to apologize to anyone trying to tune in from Facebook. If you missed us and you're catching us on the replay on YouTube, you were not ignored. Facebook is not sharing our comments. We are also not streaming to the group or the business page, because for whatever reason, Facebook keeps denying StreamYard privileges. It's a Facebook issue because they're trying to gear everybody to Facebook Live.
Right.
So fuck them for that. And I got a couple bumps on the way out. So.
Oh, okay. Oh, there we go.
And Chad Perkins has Set the Hook coming up of comedy/horror.
Oh yeah, I have a cover for that
and
too. That
Daphne
was
has
a
a
lot
cover
of
for
fun.
that,
Yeah,
yeah.
that was a lot of fun to do too. So thank you very much for everybody for lasting this long on this random show.
It's really random. I'm sorry,
It's
and I'm
always
sorry
random.
for my tantrum. I'm sorry.
Oh no,
I'm not
it's-
sorry.
All
I'm
right,
not
well, you're
sorry
not. Yeah, there
because
you
I
go.
did. Everything I said was the truth, and just sometimes people don't like to hear it.
So, like I said, I hope, remember that everything that we talk about is from our experiences, our personal experiences, and everything we say may or may not work for
And we have
you.
a disclaimer.
Yeah, it's like may or may not work for you. What works for you may not work for us, and vice versa. So remember, it's like take everything that we say with a grain of salt. Because everything is contextual, right? I mean, it
Right,
depends on
right.
what you're doing. It depends on how you're doing it, and it's like the advice that we give. If we didn't do what you're doing, we don't know what the end result's going to be. So so yeah, just remember that it's like there's no absolutes. Everything is.
There's
We're
one
like setting
absolute.
guidelines. Although there's certain things that may sound like an absolute, but in the end, it's like your mileage may vary. Just remember that. So I'd like to thank everybody who showed up in the chat today, and I'd like to thank also our beautiful eyeball people watching us from regions beyond. I hope you were entertained by at least something on this show.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you?
That's yeah, so if you want to learn more about me and my artwork and my upcoming campaigns and all that stuff, you can head on over to my main portfolio site at egoworks.com, EGOWORKS. You can find links to all of my galleries and social media sites, but I mostly post to Facebook if you're interested in seeing sketches and current work in progress updates. And remember that you can also catch me here on YouTube at my own channel at Daphne Lage, Lage Art, for semi-weekly art live streams Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Eastern. It's 2 hours of me just drawing, working, and talking to the chat, kind of like being at a convention without you worrying about blocking customers from the table. And remember, you can also read Ego Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, for free, uploading every day, Monday through Friday. So you can check that out before the campaign launches for Volume 2 on June 10th. Link is in the chat and in the show notes. But if you prefer your fantasy to be more of a furry Lord of the Rings adventure, you can follow the link over to Tall Tales. That's TAILS online.com. And not only can you read the first 20 issues of Tall Tales for free, but you can catch up on the latest story arc, Tears the Mother, which is also currently uploading Monday through Friday. So thank you, everybody, for joining us on this last day of the month, this Friday, which hopefully will not rain again today. Jesus Christ, I'm so fed up with it raining. At least, stay nice for a couple of days without raining. Jesus. So enjoy the rest of your weekend. And of course, in the words of the ancients, eat your food, moisturize, mind your business, and do the work. Because when you actually do the work, you never have to fake any of your accomplishments. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Toodaloo.
Come all you young sailormen, listen to me. I'll sing you a song of the fish in the sea. And it's windy weather, boys, stormy weather, boys. When the wind blows, we're all together, boys. Blow ye winds westerly, blow ye winds blow. Jolly southwester, boys, steady she goes.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool. And fuck you, I'm out.